Hi, I'm David Muir. Welcome back to the channel. Today we break down one of the most consequential geopolitical developments of late 2025, a dramatic claim by Russia, accusing Ukraine of attempting a drone strike against President Vladimir Putin's residence. Here I'm connecting you with our reporter.
Sir, here I'm connected and talking about today's major global update, a development that has rapidly drawn international attention and raised serious questions about the future of diplomacy in the Russia-Ukraine war. On December 29, 2025, the Russian government made a startling announcement, accusing Ukraine of launching a large-scale drone attack on one of President Vladimir Putin's official residences. The claim immediately triggered global headlines, sharp denials from Kyiv, and renewed tension at a moment when peace negotiations appeared to be gaining momentum. This alleged incident did not occur in isolation. It emerged at a highly sensitive diplomatic juncture, just days after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with US President Donald Trump in Florida to discuss security guarantees and pathways toward ending the nearly 4-year-long conflict. In this video, we will break down what Russia claims happened, why Ukraine has categorically rejected the accusation, the broader context of the war, the importance of US-backed security guarantees, and what this moment could mean for peace negotiations going forward. This report follows a neutral, factual approach, focusing on verified information and official statements. According to the Russian government, the alleged incident took place in the Novgorod region, located in northwestern Russia. This region is known to host one of President Vladimir Putin's official residences, although details about the specific property have not been publicly disclosed. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that Ukraine had launched what Moscow described as a coordinated long-range drone attack aimed at the residence. According to Russian officials, a total of 91 drones were involved in the operation. Russia claims that its air defense system successfully intercepted all incoming drones, preventing any damage to the residence or surrounding property. The Kremlin also stated that no injuries were reported as a result of the alleged attack. Russian authorities further claimed that the operation was fully neutralized before it could reach its intended objective. Moscow has emphasized that the situation was handled entirely by domestic air defense forces. However, despite the seriousness of the accusation, the Russian government has not released independent evidence to substantiate the claim. No video footage, satellite imagery, or third-party verification has been made available to confirm that such an attack occurred. The Kremlin also indicated that this incident could lead to a reassessment of Russia's position in ongoing peace negotiations, signaling that the alleged attack may affect Moscow's diplomatic posture. This statement alone elevated the situation from a security incident to a potential geopolitical turning point. The announcement quickly drew global attention, but also widespread skepticism. International analysts and several Western governments noted the lack of publicly available evidence supporting Russia's claim. Independent observers have pointed out that without verifiable proof, it remains impossible to confirm whether an attack took place as described. Questions were also raised about timing and intent. The allegations surfaced at a moment when diplomatic talks involving the United States, Ukraine, and Russia were reportedly gaining traction. Another unanswered question remains whether President Vladimir Putin was present at the residence at the time of the alleged attack. Russian officials have not confirmed his location, and details regarding the precise target and nature of the drones involved remain unclear. In modern conflicts, information warfare plays a central role, and unverified claims can quickly influence public opinion, diplomatic relations, and military decisions. Ukraine's response was swift, firm, and unequivocal. President Volodymyr Zelensky publicly rejected Russia's accusation, describing it as false and fabricated. He stated that Ukraine had no involvement in any attack on a presidential residence and dismissed the claim as a deliberate attempt to derail diplomatic progress. Zelensky argued that the allegations served as a pretext designed to undermine peace negotiations and justify potential escalation by Russia. He emphasized that Ukraine does not conduct operations targeting civilian or presidential residences, particularly during sensitive diplomatic periods. According to Kyiv, such actions would contradict Ukraine's stated objectives and damage its international credibility. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha reinforced this position, describing the accusation as part of a broader information warfare strategy. He warned that such claims could be used to justify further Russian strikes, including attacks on Ukrainian cities such as Kyiv. Kyiv maintains that Russia has repeatedly used unverified incidents in the past to rationalize military actions or shift blame during moments of diplomatic tension. This dispute highlights a critical element of modern warfare: control of the narrative. Beyond tanks, missiles, and drones, the Russia-Ukraine conflict has been marked by intense information battles. Competing narratives are used to influence international opinion, secure diplomatic leverage, and justify military actions. Both sides understand that global perception matters. Statements made by officials are often aimed not only at domestic audiences but also at international partners, allies, and neutral states. In this context, allegations, whether proven or not, can shape diplomatic momentum. The absence of independent verification makes it difficult for observers to assess the true nature of events on the ground. This is why international organizations and media outlets continue to call for transparent evidence and third-party confirmation before drawing conclusions. The timing of Russia's accusation is especially significant. Just days earlier, President Zelensky met with US President Donald Trump in Florida. The meeting focused on potential frameworks for ending the war and preventing future aggression. At the center of those discussions were security guarantees for Ukraine, a key demand from Kyiv. According to reports, the United States proposed a 15-year security guarantee as part of a broader peace framework. These guarantees are designed to deter future attacks by ensuring long-term international support for Ukraine's defense. President Zelensky responded by suggesting that 15 years may not be sufficient. He reportedly advocated for guarantees extending up to 50 years, arguing that shorter commitments could leave Ukraine vulnerable once international attention fades. The goal of such guarantees is to give Ukraine the confidence needed to negotiate an end to the conflict without fear of renewed invasion. President Trump described the discussions as positive, although he acknowledged that no final agreement had been reached. He also confirmed that he spoke separately with President Vladimir Putin, discussing similar issues, including the alleged drone incident. From Ukraine's perspective, security guarantees are not optional, they are essential. Kyiv argues that past agreements have failed due to the absence of enforceable protections. A frequently cited example is the Budapest Memorandum of 1994, under which Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in exchange for security assurances from major powers, including Russia. Those assurances did not prevent Russia's invasion in 2022. As a result, Ukrainian leaders insist that any future peace deal must include binding, long-term commitments backed by powerful allies. Without such guarantees, Ukraine fears that a ceasefire could simply serve as a pause before renewed hostilities. Russia, however, has expressed strong opposition to foreign military commitments in Ukraine, particularly any arrangement resembling NATO membership or the deployment of international forces. This fundamental disagreement remains one of the biggest obstacles to a lasting peace. The Russia-Ukraine war began in February 2003 and has since become the most significant conflict in Europe since World War II. Russia currently controls parts of eastern and southern Ukraine, including territories in Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia. These annexations are widely rejected by Ukraine and the international community. The conflict has resulted in tens of thousands of military casualties, massive civilian displacement, widespread infrastructure destruction, long-term economic consequences for both countries. Despite multiple rounds of negotiations, ceasefire attempts have repeatedly collapsed. By late 2005, international pressure to find a diplomatic solution intensified, particularly as the war's economic and human costs continued to rise. International reactions to Russia's claim have been cautious. European governments have largely avoided endorsing the allegation, emphasizing the need for verification. Analysts warn that unproven claims could escalate tensions and undermine fragile diplomatic efforts. Many experts view the situation as a test of whether diplomacy can survive moments of heightened mistrust. If negotiations collapse, the conflict could enter a more dangerous phase with expanded drone warfare, deeper international involvement, and increased risks of miscalculation. Looking ahead, several key questions remain unanswered. Will independent evidence emerge regarding the alleged drone attack? Can peace negotiations withstand rising tensions and competing narratives? Will the United States and its allies offer stronger security guarantees? And can both sides find a compromise that addresses core security concerns? Diplomatic channels remain open, but the margin for error is narrowing.